If we're focused on the child, which is, you know what, I want my child to be comfortable, I want them to be happy, content, feel safe. You shouldn't be focusing up here. You know what, if I have to give an extra £100 a month to make sure my child's good and I've got it, why would I not want to?
I think sometimes men, I guess if you're not in the household fully to see how much goes into having a child for maybe 5 days, maybe some men think that the money they're given is sufficient.
Because they're looking at, I think as men we look at the money, and I used to as well, we look at the money as like, you need to show me where that's going. If I'm giving you 3 bills a month, show me that where's the trainers that you bought, where's this, where's that, rather than looking at it as that money I'm giving you is kind of like covering your monthly as a parent living with my child. Like, you're going to buy more food, more gas, more electric, petrol, everything. It's not just this money has to go directly on my child.
And you know the crazy thing here, like that 3 bills a month ain't nothing, bro. That's £10 a day. Look when you walk out the house here, and you might go down the road and you go to the shop quickly. You might walk into like a Sainsbury or something. You buy a little pineapple pot, a little cookies, and a little drink.
That's like 2 bills.
That's done. So imagine 3 bills a month. You want this for your child. That's gonna probably pay towards their transport going somewhere. Maybe like during the weekend, he might want to go do something with his brethren, and she's like, right, you know what? Hold a little £20-30. That goes towards that. You get what I'm saying? By the end of the week, when he's burning the electric in the house, he's eating. PlayStation. He's eating morning and night. The 3 bills ain't nothing.
What's the average? Cause I know you man are good with finances. What's the average salary?
In London, I think it's just under 40. It's about
just under 40.
Yeah, it's about 30, 37ish.
So I think you can do like child maintenance calculations, yeah. And I think I've done this based on a 30k salary because for some reason I typed in average salary and it said 29 something. But based on 30k, if you have one child, you'll be expected to pay, and you're not seeing that child, yeah, you'll be expected to pay £290 a month.
Okay.
If you were seeing that child one night a week, yeah, which equates to 52 nights a year, yeah. Or just over that, because I think less than one night a week you fall into the basic category. Like just above one night a week you fall into the next category. It would be like 250. So if say we're saying 40k, so say on a 40k salary you might be expected to pay 3 bills, 350 for one child. Do you think that is substantial?
If you add her 350, then yes. So that you're talking 7 bills now.
But when we're adding her money, what are we adding that towards?
Okay, so you've got to live anyway. So when we talk about the household, there has to be a house anyway for her to live in.
But there could be a 1-bedroom.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is this: let's say we put the child aside for 1 second.
Yeah.
Let's say as an adult, both of us have to live somewhere. Yeah. And let's say, for instance, this child needs to have a bedroom. Assuming that I've got my own place, my child has a bedroom here, so we've both got bedrooms.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think that caveat of the room and the room, if there's a room there and a room there, it dissolves that because we both have to live somewhere.
Let me
go on and
jump in. Let's say that the man, because I know for me, I was living at my mum's like till I was like early 30s. So if I was living with my child, I wouldn't have been able to have done that.
Okay, cool.
So let's say the woman has to now get a place. The man can stay at his mum's for longer. So let's say the rooms aren't even.
Okay, cool.
Then go on.
What I would probably, and this is just my suggestion.
Yeah.
I'd probably say, let's say for instance, because typically it might be a council property. Typically, she ain't gonna be private renting. Usually in those scenarios. So maybe let's just say it's £500 for the 1-bed flat. 500. So, in my opinion, it would make sense for him to split that. Okay. In my opinion, because that's if you're living at your mum's, I'm assuming that your outgoings are probably going to be maybe less than that. Everything for me is life isn't fair. But I think it's to find a balance. Not that you're both going to sit there and start looking at each other's salaries. But let's just say, for instance, it's £500 and it's costing £250. So £250.
You cover half.
Then maybe you then decide the food side of things, and whatever else that child has, in an ideal world, should be split. In an ideal world.
Okay.
That's my opinion. But if, for instance, everything's about how long that child spends there, and the same with child maintenance, I guess they look at that too.
It's calculated,
And I think most scenarios, most dads are weekend dads in most scenarios. I think.
Or every other weekend. Or So rotation is different.
If you pick that child up on a Friday and drop the child back on a Monday, what this next dilemma was we won't go to because of time is that his argument was that anyone who knows they had children knows that the most expensive time to have children is on the weekend. Am I wrong? Would you?
Yeah, more out.
Because he says...
No, you know what? I'd almost disagree with that.
Yeah, because he says that
when
you're a Father Christmas dad, because this dad's an active dad, but he calls himself a Father Christmas dad. Because whenever there's a problem, it's the dad that has to deal with it. So basically, he only ever gets phone calls when the kids are naughty, and on the weekend he has to almost compensate because he's a weekend dad. That when you see them on the weekend, you technically got to take them out
the whole day
on a Saturday and maybe take them out on a Sunday.
Whereas during the weekday, they might be in school half the day, I guess.
But also, you know what?
Well, what do you find? Do you find that? Do you find that you spent a lot on the weekends with your children?
me personally, right? My children live an hour apart. Yeah. So if we're talking like petrol, that price is ridiculous anyway. But I'm throwing however much in the tank to go and do the journeys. I then go to the barbers with both my boys. So I'm paying for both of their haircuts. Yeah. Then by the time that's happened, all right, let's get a food, let's go back. Then the Sunday it might be, right, let's do a cinema, let's do this, let's do that. But also I try and show them the realistic look of life as well. Like, you know what, today your dad's got to prepare for a working week. So I got to iron my clothes, I got to wash, I got to do this, do that. I think sometimes that mindset of we need to be fun dad, yeah, doesn't help us.
Okay.
Because then what are your children really seeing from you as a dad?
I think
And they're also going to
life
think...
is a roller coaster, boy.
And they're also going to think, you know who I want to go and live with? Dad. Because it's fun over there, you know?
Yeah.
And then you go and live with your dad and you realise, it's not like
It's
that.
not like that.
It's not like that the whole time. But I think when you're... As I got older as a teenager, I would leave the yard. I'll be gone for most of the day. I'll be in the park playing with my people, doing whatever. And then in the week, mum's having to give me money for school dinners, like travel or buy little things here and there. So I'd say it depends on the age. I wouldn't really say you're guaranteed to spend more on the weekends. Because the weekends are 2 days as well.
Yeah, because he's arguing this dilemma. Let me bring it back up now.
He had 3 days though,
Yeah, so he's saying he has a kid Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and drops the kid to school on Monday. So he picks them up from school Friday, has them Saturday, has them Sunday, drops them to school on the Monday. And that's basically this guy's rotation. And his argument was that he calls himself a Father Christmas dad, and the reason why he says that is because all of the treats and all of the going out and everything tends to be on the weekend, and that's what I do, as in not me, him does. And he's saying that once again. I think most of these scenarios
It's
are
a
annoying,
choice though, right?
but as in
what he's choosing to do with his kids is a choice. It's not something he has to do. So for example, Monday to Friday, I have to get my kids ready, take them to school. I have to make sure they've got this, I got to make sure they've got that, I got to make sure I'm back at this time to do this. Like, right, we've got to do dinner, so on and so forth. Weekend is flexible. I could, if I wanted to, just say, you know what, we're chilling today, go play PlayStation, we're going to have a date in, do whatever. It's my choice. I think Monday to Friday, whoever's got the child Monday to Friday, they haven't got a choice. This is how it has to be.
for routine, yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's different. And if you're having your child Friday to the Monday, again, that's technically 2 whole days and a bit.